What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's hump day, y'all, and my hump is very humpy. Um, what's up, Elsid? You at your blackety black job. I'm at my blackety black job too. Because that's what we do over here. It's coffee talk. It's Wednesday. The hump is very humpy. And yeah, we're going to talk about some. Normally, let me rephrase that. Normally, what we do over here is talk about Black excellence, Black history, some current events, and a little bit of celebrity gossip. But I'm gonna start here today because I feel like there's really nowhere else for us to start. You know, this is one of those things that where is the straw? Where is the straw? You know what I'm saying? That breaks the camel's back. Because it just keeps happening and it keeps happening and nothing is changing. It doesn't seem like. Dear Black people, stop letting your Black children be the only Black child. We're gonna start there. I scream out, like in a Tourette's kind of way. You know how your boy was over there at the awards ceremony screaming out nigga. Well, every now and then I scream out segregation because it's a safe place to be. And when I say segregation, first of all, I have no problems with Black communities building. It's always been a benefit to us to build within our own communities, but we live under a government that tries to destroy and break that down. That's not something that they feel like we're worthy of. You know what I'm saying? So anytime we segregate ourselves, good morning, Shayna. Anytime we segregate ourselves and try to build our communities, the powers that be that are non-melanated, let's call it what it is. Today I'm feeling some type of way. I'm not going to be speaking um politically correct. So smack my hand if that's what you need to do, but I'm feeling some type of way. I need to get it out. You say integration was definitely more for their benefit. Yeah. And the things that our children had to go through. um just speaking from my personal experience, um my mother my grandmother left Florida in the 1930s. My grandmother left Florida in the 1930s and um took her daughters. There she has 7 children, 2 girls at the time, and then there were 5 boys. So she took her 2 girls to Michigan and she navigated through this world as a light skinned woman. So she was able to, secure a job at a bank where people weren't. You know what I'm saying? She was a black cashier, with light skin. That's not something, or bank teller. Um, she also was a housekeeper, because that's how, single woman 1930s, my grandmother was a G. Single mother 1930s left her husband, um, who probably, I don't want to talk about my granddaddy because I don't have a whole lot of details. I wish T was here. She knows more. I mean, this is what we do. T and I, we go down ancestry. We have the benefit of having a lot of information about our family history. So, maybe we should get together, write a book. But at the end of the day, my grandmother went to Michigan as a single mother and was able to benefit from her complexion. We're gonna put it there. That's not her fault. It's just the life, that she was giving. So, I feel like though what my mother grew up seeing was the benefit of attaching yourself to white people. So even though our home life was not that, we very, in Flint, everybody was migrating to Flint to go work for General Motors. So, Flint is a black city. So, we were very grounded, in the home, around, segregated, because we lived in black neighborhoods. They were just affluent black neighborhoods. Because our parents were making money. When I say we, I mean, my generation. um but I feel like, based on the way, she saw things as a child. So when I came along, I was always sent to private schools. We had the benefit of ballet classes, and I took a tap, ballet, jazz, gymnastics. She did a really good job of involving me in things, to see, and it's probably, I give her credit for why I'm a creative, because she put me in these creative spaces. Um, she was single with me, not with my brother and sister, but she had the same, that they went to private school. Now, because there was so many black people in Flint making a certain, making a good living for themselves, a good wage for themselves, working for GM. The spaces where I went to ballet and tap, all those things, music, whatever she had me involved in, they were blended spaces. There was not the situation where you were the only black, but eventually that did happen. Um, the school that I started out in was the same school that my brother and sister went to, and there's a damn near 20-year age gap between my siblings and myself. So this is a whole nother generation. And by the time I came along, we went to the same churches. There was heavy community. We went to the same church. That church was the school that we went to, and then that school closed. So our parents had to find other schools to send the kids to. My mother chose a school. It was it was a white school. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, I know, even though it's not been said directly, that her association with that was, white folks are over there, they got better shit. I'm going to send my kid over there because I want her to have better shit. And I respect that. But I also understand that when I got over there, I was bullied and I didn't get it. When I got over there, it was a very cool school, honestly, because it did feed into, your creative. It was like an art school to some extent. The whole setup, and I really kind of appreciate how my mother wasn't afraid to try innovative things instead of going always with what people were, following suit, with what everybody else was doing. But I went to this school, there was positives, but I was bullied. And at the time I kind of didn't even realize that's what was going on. I didn't understand like why things were happening over there. Things, and I don't remember the day to day because I was probably only in, first grade. This is right after kindergarten. I was very young. But I do remember my mother used to make me, make my lunch and put my goodies in there. That was a thing. This is back in the day when, and I kind of want a lunchbox. You would, but the beginning of school, you would get a fly ass lunchbox, and that was a very, very important thing, for us as kids. Our lunchbox, you get you a Wonder Woman lunchbox or Spider-Man lunchbox, Barbie, whatever the thing was, and it came with a thermos. So if you had to have, your drink in there, whether it be soup or whatever, old school thermos, and the thermos had a little lid on it. So if you had like soup, you could pour the soup in the thing. Like I had soup, sandwich, and there was always some hostess situation in there. Twinkies, ho-hos, some kind of little hostess treat in my lunchbox. And so when you get to school and you put your stuff in your little cubby, I'm sure y'all are all familiar where, now these kids got backpacks. We didn't have all that. We had a cubby and, your school books or whatever. But when you're in first grade, you don't really have a lot of books. But somebody, like these kids, would get together and steal my snack. So whenever it was time for me to go to lunch, my snack was gone. And I feel like, so my mother learned about this school through a coworker. She's who was sending her kid there, Erin Telefaro. I remember her name. Sorry, because me and Erin got in a lot of mischief. We did a lot of things, but I mean, like going to jail or nothing like that. But childhood mischief. Walking on the creek on the ice when you're not supposed to, that kind of thing. Shit that could get you killed, probably. I'm chasing butterflies. Erin was biracial. And I thought she was my friend because she lived in my neighborhood. And it hurt my feelings when I found out that Erin was working along with these white children to steal my snacks. It seems like a small thing compared to what's been going on now, but these little microaggressions existed. When I went to this school, also, one of the activities was camping, and it gave you an opportunity to go explore something else. In Michigan, you go like to Port Huron. There's a Great Lakes, so there's many beautiful campsites up there where people, I'm sure now there's resorts and things. Back then, this was camping in a tent. We were learning like Girl Scout things. So it was me and only all the white people. And I don't know, I guess I never had a problem making friends. It was just that I was different than everybody else. I'm light skinned, but I'm black. Erin is biracial. So when her white parent comes to pick her up from school, it, changes things a little bit. I feel like, for the rest of the kids. But we went camping, and I guess it started like from the very beginning. I did this once. I didn't ever want to go camping again. This like changed the way I even feel about camping. Um, we were out there. We had tents. I had my sleeping bag. I had all the things that they had because my mama was making enough money to provide them for me. So it wasn't like I was out there like the broke black kid. I was over there with y'all with all the same shit, probably better shit because, there was a little spice on it, I'm sure. Anyway, I don't know if it's based out of jealousy, learned behavior, obviously, things that they hear in their home and why they treated me this way. But anytime we were changing clothes, good morning, high vibe. Anytime it was time for us to change clothes, the girls would all leave me in there. They would wait until I was getting ready to change my clothes. We're in our tent, unzip the thing, and call the boys over. So the boys, would all like be crowded around the tent. So I couldn't change my clothes. Good morning to go to Africa. Like I said, I was very young. I'm talking first, second grade. This was, my mother trying to give me an opportunity and allow me to be exposed to things. Both things. When I told the teacher that they were doing this at the tent, when I told the teacher they were stealing my snacks, nothing was done about it. So I spent, I don't know, 2-3 days. It wasn't like a long trip, but I spent a couple days out there, Port Huron campsite. And, I was able to participate in the activities, but I would not change my clothes. So every day I would get up and just leave on the clothes that I had because I knew if I changed my clothes, which I had with me, they were going to call boys over. And for whatever reason, telling the teacher didn't change anything. It changed nothing. So, and I didn't understand at the time that that was racism. I knew that I was with my classmates out camping somewhere, in the middle of the fucking woods. And these kids were being mean to me. So when I got home and got off the bus, my mother, is pulled up there with all the parents. And I'm wearing the same clothes that I had on when I left. And she's, we were shopping in the whole nine before we went on this camping trip. And she was like, what is going on? Like, why are you wearing those same clothes? And so when I told her about the experience, she took me out of the school and put me in another school, which was also a private school, but it was just the school that, all the other GM parents were sending their school to, the ones that decided to send their kids to private school. So when I got over there, there were kids, who I went to kindergarten with, and it was just a much more diverse and comfortable place. Anytime I've ever been the only black person, the microaggressions, not just from the kids, but from the principal and, the teachers, they all dealt, I dealt with it from everyone, not just the students. So when we moved down here, again, my mother is on this quest for finding a private school because that was, that's just was her way, and that's how it was going to be. And so my high school years, the last few years of high school, I was the only Black kid again. And now I'm in this affluent, around these wealthy kids and me. Now she was a retiree at this point, so she's not having the same GM money that she had when she was working. Now we're on a pension, and I'm in high school with these wealthy kids. So they, getting driver's license, they was driving, brand new BMWs and things. That's what they got for their 16. And one of the students has a horse farm, a very well-known horse farm in Ocala. So I'm on a whole nother level right now of of the environment that I'm in. And so when I look now at how Trump supporting they are, I'm like, wow, I have over the years, dealing with microaggressions when you're in that type of environment. Did I feel safe? I didn't know not to. You know what I mean? I knew that they weren't really my people though. Like I didn't really have any friends over there. There was me and there was a Black boy who I think was a grade younger than me. What was his name? Gerald. It was me and Gerald. And I feel like me and Gerald actually could have been really cool because I think he was a cool, he was a cool kid. However, anytime we stood in the same space, people tried to make it seem like we were, ooh, they like each other. And we were like, I mean, we just, we're just having a conversation. It's nothing like that. Let's see what you're saying. You said I have a very mixed family, so I just get monthly like mouthy like I would with my cousins. Yeah, I come from a mixed family too, but this ain't that. This was like me in an environment with I'm a Black girl from Flint, Michigan, whose mother is on a pension in this private school with these people who have been in school together since kindergarten, because a lot of those, it was a Lutheran school. A lot of times when you have and I went to Catholic school in Michigan. So the indoctrination was very prevalent, very strong, and I was always resistant to it. So here I am. I was always resistant to it, but when I think back, I was like, I was in the freaking woods with these people. This could have been me. And so maybe that's why I take it, I feel like we all are. I feel like we're taking this particular situation very hard because it's just another kid. And you think, well, I want to expose my kids to things that they wouldn't see otherwise, but this ain't how you do it. And in this day and age, you can choose something different. Sending your kid as the only Black kid in the school, in the neighborhood, I would not do it. I'm not ever gonna move anywhere where I'm the only. Not gonna do it. It's never ever ever turned out like good in the history of ever. And if you say I live in a white neighborhood and we got good white people over here, that's great for you. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, I don't want my kids, my grandkids to have to go outside and be the only because it's always bad. So let's start here. I'm sure y'all are have a lot to say about this, but this is not about money. This is about justice. Attorney Ben Crump, known for representing the families of victims in high-profile civil rights and wrongful death cases, has been retained by the family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells as they seek answers and a full investigation into his death. I can't judge, these people's choice. This is who they wanted, to represent them. And I think because it's not a money case, because it's, what do you call it? Not discrimination, but it's race related. So, I feel like this needs to have eyes on it. And I feel like maybe for that reason, regardless to what you feel about him in terms of him being a crook, I think who else would it be? I think definitely having him as an attorney is not going to shut this conversation down really, fast. If there's anything he can do, is like keep the doors open for this conversation to keep being had until there's some resolve. Um, you said my uncle used to like to move in and watch them leave. Yeah, that ain't even fun. I just watched this this series on Netflix. If y'all haven't watched The World's Worst Neighbor, please watch that. Please watch that. Good morning, Kiwan. Kiwan's in the bushes. It bees like that, Kiwan. I'll be in the bushes too, just in case y'all, my people over here, just in case y'all don't know, I'll be in the bushes. Even when it's like a show I don't watch, I hit the like and I let it ride so y'all can get the views. So if I'm not there, I'll be in the bushes. What you say, High Vibe? I just don't understand why these parents place their kids in all white environments and them not and then not school their kids on racism. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I don't remember, like I said, when the whole camping situation, I was young. So, and understand completely as an adult that my mother thought she was doing the right thing by exposing me, to things that, only white people have access to. And I think that comes from her leaving Florida, coming to Michigan, seeing her mother get these jobs that she got based on her complexion. And my mother carried on colorism. So there were lots of times that I had to check her about, the colorist, behavior, comments. You know what I'm saying? And it was because, like I said, I feel like, she saw the goodness in being about white things based on, the things that they had access to. So I understand that part, but not nowadays. It just doesn't make sense. Nowadays, we have way too many other options to be doing that. You said I was the only as well from the fourth through the 12th grade. So then you probably carry around a lot of microaggressions like I do. And they always be like the white ones, the light skinned ones be the most militant. I mean, I guess, but I feel like my energy comes directly from things that I experience. And, having white people try to sneak touch my hair like I'm a freaking, animal at the zoo. Um, my parents believed they were giving me an opportunity. They didn't factor the psychological damage. I feel the exact same thing about my mother. And I mean, it was, you know what I'm saying? If one thing I learned is how to navigate around them. And when I would go to job interviews, I would straighten my hair and code switch. We all got a code switch, whatever. But I feel like we all, probably straightened our hair. You know what I'm saying? Regardless to what texture it was. I have a naturally curly hair pattern texture. My mother relaxed my hair for what? Because I don't know, like it was something I never even ever had to have, but it's just what we were taught to do. What I know about chemical relaxers now, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. I don't even do them anymore. I can't, in good conscience, put relaxer on somebody when I know what the hell it's gonna do to them. I don't care. I don't care. Anyway, Ben Crump is going to be the attorney here. Like I said, there's a lot of negative opinion about him, but this case needs to have a high profile attorney. And he's very much attached to civil rights and that kind of thing. So we need another Ben Crump. Like he said he was tired 10 years ago. He said he was tired. So we need somebody else to step up in that position. Jasmine, is she an attorney? We need somebody, we need another. We are lacking, I see a lot of doctors out here, but we need attorneys because these laws that are being made are, allowing our kids to just be taken out with no repercussion. And yeah, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. So a lot of young people have some things to say, and I'm gonna let them express. I'm going to share with you guys what they had to say, because this is the next generation. I see this young man often. He's not even black, but I see him speaking, on this social issue that we are dealing with. He's Hispanic, so I'm guessing he probably deals with some of it, but this is this is why allies are important. We can scream and cry and march. We can't, marching is don't march. That's not necessarily gonna be in the face. Only gonna get us in trouble. Right now, marching, I don't recommend it. But pulling your money, pulling your dollars out of certain places, I think is gonna be the most powerful way to make change happen. But yeah, let's listen to what this young man had to say.
Black or brown person who's the only one that looks like you in your friend group, this video is for you. I'm not making this video because I want you to live in fear. I'm not saying this because I want people separated or divided from each other. I'm saying this because a lot of people have learned this lesson after they already got hurt. So please be careful. And before anybody twists what I'm saying, no, I'm not telling you to stop making friends with people who don't look like you. Some of the best people you'll ever meet do not share your skin color. This is not about race deciding someone's character. This is about never ignoring someone's character because you're trying so hard to believe they respect yours. If you're the only black or brown person in the room, please pay attention. Not to what people say when everybody's getting along. Pay attention to what happens the first time race comes up. Pay attention to who gets uncomfortable, who changes the subject, who laughs, who stays quiet, who speaks up, who suddenly wants to play devil's advocate, who gets defensive, who gets dismissive, who tells you you're taking it too seriously, who asks you to prove your own experience. Because that's when people stop performing and start showing you who they really are. A lot of people will tell you, I don't see color. That sounds nice, right? And maybe they mean well. But if someone can't see your color, they usually aren't seeing everything that has come with it either. They aren't seeing the history. They aren't seeing the stereotypes. They aren't seeing the assumptions you've had to carry. They don't see the pain or the trauma. They aren't seeing the things you had to learn just to move through the world a little safer. Don't let anybody convince you that asking for respect is asking for too much. It's not. You deserve friends who respect your culture, your history, your family, your name, your traditions, the struggles your community has carried, the victories your community fought for. And they shouldn't just accept those things. They should care enough to learn, to respect them, to cherish them, to nurture them, to protect them. And people love saying, oh, it was just a joke. But really ask yourself something. Why is the joke always your skin color? Why is the joke always your name, your hair, your culture, your pain, your trauma, your history, your family, your ancestry, your community? Why are you always expected to laugh first so everybody else can feel better about it? At some point, it stops being humor. It becomes permission, because every joke that gets excused teaches people what the group is willing to tolerate, especially if you're the only one. Every silence teaches people what's acceptable. Every time somebody says, oh, that's just how they are, what they're really saying is, we've already decided that your dignity is way less important than confronting our friend. And that's the thing, man. Real friendship has a cost. If standing up for you is too uncomfortable for somebody, then your dignity was never worth much to them in the first place. And those aren't your friends. Every harmless comment about your hair, your skin tone, your food, or your family's background is a micro test. They are testing the waters to how much disrespect you will swallow before you finally react. If you swallow it to keep the peace, they're only going to get bolder and more comfortable. And it's going to give them a chance to weaponize your anger. Because the moment you finally do decide you've had enough and you call out the disrespect, the entire group dynamic will instantly shift. You will immediately be cast as the caricature they've secretly harbored in their minds, the angry black person or the hypersensitive, aggressive minority. The conversation will instantly pivot from what they did to how poorly you reacted. They will gaslight you into believing that you're the one who ruined the vibe, but they don't want to evaluate the disrespect they did to cause you to react that way in the first place. To any black or brown person who's the only...
I mean, I feel like he was very well spoken on that particular subject. Laughing at shit. Kevin Hart. Hey, Kevin Hart. I feel like this is exactly that. You sitting up there laughing at that shit and you want to, put it in a box of, well, it's comedy. We don't want to start, what do they call it? Censoring. We don't want to start censoring comedians. I guess I would not be a part of no party where all of those people were invited to. Plain and simple. So, if you sitting there laughing and allowing it, my son had a lesson that he had to learn. Good morning, Tony. Everybody at work today or got work to do. That's okay because we here. My son has an incident where, in this blended environment where there was one kid in there that was comfortable saying nigga. I'm not censored today, so that's where it is. He was comfortable saying nigga. And my son somehow gave him permission, you know what I'm saying, to say it. Years later, or made him feel like we cool, you cool, you like one of my boys, we gonna blend this thing. And then years later, good morning, T. Years later, after he grew up, obviously, and I told him when he told me, I would say maybe when this started, he was like 15, 16. And I told him then, that's going to be a problem for you later. Like you're allowing this kid to use this word in front of you without checking it, and it's going to be a problem with you later. And so later on, they were grown. I would say now they're about 20, 21, and they have not necessarily maintained a friendship, but I feel like with social media, they were able to keep in touch with each other to some extent. And they ran across each other. And I guess at the time, this kid was calling himself a songwriter, trying to make music. So he makes this song. And in the song, he says the word nigga and then follows up with saying, and I can say nigga because my, friend gave me permission to do so. And so that made my son, of course, feel away. And I said, I told you back in the day that this was going to feel different. And so if you're one of these people that accept that type of shit from your white community, it's going to come back. You're going to be in a position where, you see where they really, how they really feel, where their heart really is. And so speak up. That's all I can say. And teach us kids to speak up. Don't allow it to be a thing. Don't allow them to be comfortable. And if that's the case, then move along. Like, I'm not trying to even be in company. I have former friends right now that said some stupid shit. And I was like, okay, well, I'm good. And there wasn't no fight. There wasn't no argument. I knew in my head, this will be our last conversation. And that's pretty much how that went. Here's another young lady.
Hey, and none of this is normal. It has been 1 week since the body of Gerard Jackson was found hanging in a wooded area in Michigan right outside the Electric Forest Festival that he was attending. His death was ruled a suicide. It has been a little over 2 weeks since the body of Tone Miller was found hanging in a park in Miami. Her death ruled a suicide. It has been a little over 2 months since the body of Juliana, 16-year-old, found hanging near a church in Charlotte. Her death ruled a suicide. It has been about 4 months since the body of Kyle Basinga was found in Georgia hanging. None of this is okay, and none of this is normal. It has been less than a year. It will be a year in September when they found Trey Reed's body at Delta State University in Mississippi. His death ruled a suicide. And you may be asking, Rashonda, well, how many Black people walk around with rope on them? The answer would be none, Helen, 0. Because none of this is okay and none of this is normal. Just so we are clear, none of this is okay and none of this is normal.
And I feel like we're in a place where it has become, she just named all these people and we've become very desensitized. We've become desensitized. It was like, with the George Floyd situation. I watched that in real time and it took the whole breath out of me. It took me out. Me and my daughter are watching it and I'm looking at her and she's 17 or younger, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, actually she was more like 14 or 15. And I was like, they're killing that man. That's what's happening right now. And now here we are. And, this was during COVID. We've seen all these people of one by one, you know what I'm saying, being unalived by law enforcement. and in a time where we were locked in. It was just all very scary, and it feels like that all over again. And you get to the point where you're like, I'm not watching it again, but I feel like we need to share this. We need to make this conversation much louder and not be quiet. The girl in Florida was from Flint. I did not know that. I know that this list is long. Every day is something new. Like the police just shot up a car with a 1-year-old baby in it because they thought the lady was still in diapers. And so, it's like, I don't know. I'm speechless, I have to say. I feel like we definitely need to be sharing these posts where these kids are being named, because nobody really talks about it. It's just another day, and we need to make it not just another day. Here's another ally, and I appreciate these non-melanated kids. This one also looks like a little swirly. He looks like he might be a Latina. So I'm not sure. I'm just going by what he looks like, which they feel a little bit of it too. So for those who are paying attention.
Name a lot the next couple days, and then unfortunately the majority of white people talking about it will forget all about it as they ride off into the sunset chasing the next headline, because at the end of the day they're allowed to put their phone down and stop thinking about it. Black people are not afforded that luxury. So before that happens, I would like to remind you that this is not an isolated incident. Nolan Xavier Wells died mysteriously on Horn Island this weekend while going out with his white friend group. It was reported that there was an argument, and now every boy that was present is saying they don't know what happened. Nolan is described as a special soul, always willing to cheer and uplift others. Cohen Wiley was shot by police just 3 weeks ago, 1 year old, because they thought his guardian stole diapers. Just 2 months ago, Juliana Nazita, 16 years old, was found hanging on a church's property after being missing for 10 days. Police refused to even perform a homicide investigation, ruled it a suicide, and never mentioned it again. Kyle Basinga was hanged in Georgia 3 months before that, and once again, police ruled no foul play. Trey Reed was found hanging in a tree on Delta State's campus in September of last year. Police ruled no foul play, but his family demanded a private investigation and independent autopsy, and they still have no results 10 months later. Denoris Richardson was found the previous September hanging in a remote area miles away from his home in Alabama, only months after he filed a lawsuit against police for beating and abusing him. Police ruled it a suicide, but his family and I believe it was framed that way. He was the father of 5 children and coached kids baseball and football. Javian McGee was found dead with a rope around his neck in North Carolina the same month, ruled suicide immediately by police. His family disagrees. In May of 2024, 4 white teenagers knocked on Justin Johnson's door and told him to come out while holding what looked like a toy gun. They said, "Justin, I see you in the window, come out." Justin told his dad on the phone, "They didn't want to chase nobody but me, and I had to run fast away to come home. Run away from them and come home." He was found lying stomach down and pronounced dead later that night. Trevante Schubert Helton was found hanging in Georgia in February 2024, ruled suicide. His family calls for a more thorough investigation. Yolna Lubrin was found hanging in Orlando in September 2023. Police claimed suicide immediately, but her family accuses them of jumping to conclusions without a proper investigation. In 2021, Peter Spencer was invited to a cabin in Pennsylvania with his 4 white coworkers and was found dead on the lawn with 9 gunshot wounds just hours later. The shooter was let free because he said Peter was acting crazy on shrooms, and the 9 shots were out of self-defense. Tamla Horsford was found dead in a backyard after having a slumber party with her white friends in 2018. Police ruled it an accident, but her family's attorney said blunt force injuries and inconsistent witness statements strongly suggest homicide. Terrence Woods Jr. was in Idaho in 2018 when his white coworkers said he started acting strange and running away from them. He's missing to this day. 4 black men were found hanging in 2020: Malcolm Harsh, Dominique Alexander, Robert Fuller, and Omari Bryant. Are you recognizing a pattern yet? Whether they were abandoned, murdered, or hanged, police are systematically denying black families investigations and answers they deserve. This system was designed to protect white lives, and that is exactly what it's doing. Do not let police or media convince you that these lives aren't precious, and don't buy into the lie that it doesn't deserve our full attention. My heart hurts extra for Christine and Elmore today. You're about to see this boy's face and hear his name a lot the next couple days, and then unfortunately the majority of white people talking about it will forget all about it as they ride off into the sunset chasing the next headline, because at the end of the day they're allowed to put their phone down and stop thinking about it.
Well said. It's just wild to me how the list is just on and on and on and on, and half of these we won't hear nothing else about unless we keep talking about it. The frozen water people are the new police. So, let that ponder. Imagine the Klan. And the police department has, it's been corrupt for a long time. It's not cute to say I don't back the blue, and that's not true. It's the corruption of it all. And so it seems like the corruption of the police department, frozen water people, is leaning very much on, slave catching. You said white girl took him to the bushes, they say. I don't have any of the details. Are you talking about this young man that, was found or was not found, who went out with his white friends? You said a white girl took him to the bush. They say white boys got jealous. That's a possibility. We don't know why. We don't know. We know they were arguing. We know that this boy went over there and with his friends, his so-called friends, and he did not come home. Even GMA is reporting no foul play. Well, I mean, that's because the KKKs then bought all the TV, all of the media. The sources, like, I don't even look to those type of resources anymore. Not that I've never really been a big Good Morning America person, but the Ellison family has bought everything, so they're gonna report things. That was the whole point in this whole media takeover, is to keep us from hearing, what's really going on. At some point or another, it's gonna be censored over here. It is already. They're already trying to figure out ways to shadow ban and keep us from sharing and that kind of thing. That's why we got to keep doing it as much as we can while we can. Again, it's not for your best interest of your children, even if you think it is. Like I said, in this day and age, there's other ways to expose them to things, and spending time in spaces where you're the only one, it's just not safe. That's the only way to put it. Boys roughing around, and an accident happens, and the first thing that's going to happen, because we don't know what really happened over there. We know they was friends when they left. It was his friend group when they left, but I'm sure they've always talked about him as the other, especially when he's not around. You said they're trying to incite us to a riot or some public protests so that martial law can be. That's why I said marching ain't even it right now. That's not it. That's not how things get handled. So if it's going to be Ben Crump, he need to bring on some others, high profile. We need to make sure that this doesn't just go away. And, the frozen water people are the police. Like, we fighting the fight. It can't just be us. It's going to take allies in order to shift things. We ain't gonna be able to do it by ourselves, because we already know that they don't see value in us. They trying to send a lady to jail for 56 years or however many years for hitting some ducks, when at the end of the day she should be on probation and paying a fine. But we want to take 54 years. I don't know. I feel like, it's hopeless, not hopeless. I'm never going to feel hopeless. That's not, how I'm made up. But I do feel helpless in a way that, all we can do is talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And spread the word of what definitely not to do. I found myself in that position far too many times as the only Black woman, only Black person. And only negative came out of it, in the form of microaggressions. I learned to tolerate them, but I don't know, because, at this age now, I just be snapping. Bill Crump is a scam. He will collect money and move on. So then who else? Because we know he's a scam, but he's also high profile. So if not him, then who? Because we have, the other young man who is on trial. He had to get a whole nother legal team to help him. We still don't know what's going to go on with that. And the young man serving 35 years in jail. So if not Ben Crump, then who? I was, you must not have been here when I was saying that earlier. Everybody, has come into an understanding that Ben Crump is a certain type of individual. However, he's high profile, and this needs high profile representation. Let's see what else, child. Ain't nothing good happening over here today. So yeah, to end that conversation, y'all, just let's make sure that our road to success doesn't include forcing your children to be in all white spaces. It's not safe mentally. It's gonna create long-term damage, and it's not gonna make us better. I feel like when you're the creator of everything, what do you need somebody else for? And we'll have to, gain access, but not as sending your children over there by their damn self. And moving on. Another thing, sending your kids to daycare. This is so scary. What the hell is wrong with this person? So, California family files a lawsuit after their toddler suffered from a traumatic brain injury and permanent hearing loss due to a daycare worker tossing him into the air. Who said that was okay? That's that's their stuff. That's their situation over there. I can't tell. Like, let's look at the worker again. Yeah, them is all those people over there. But this happened. We gonna still speak on behalf of the baby. It says at this point, just don't send your children to daycare. A California family is suing a daycare facility after their 23-month-old son allegedly suffered traumatic brain injury and hearing loss when an employee tossed him in the air and failed to catch him. Who thinks it's a good idea to be tossing the baby in the air? She slung him up like she was, performing for the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus. According to lawsuit, the incident occurred at the Bay Clubhouse in El Segundo, California, where toddler CK was under the supervision of staff while his father used the nearby club facilities. The lawsuit alleges that surveillance image captured the daycare employee playfully swinging the child by his arms before lifting him several feet into the air. The employee allegedly failed to catch him, causing both to crash to the ground. Court documents claim CK struck his head during the fall and immediately began crying hysterically as other adults in the room looked in shock. I mean, they saying allegedly, but we looking right at her. We looking right at her swing that baby in the air and then drop him on the floor. And I mean, she swung him way up there. What the hell? And everybody else is watching. Like, why didn't somebody say, girl, stop? Like, when you see this, she's not in the picture right now, but there's a blonde-headed girl right here. She's standing there watching. Bam, the baby hits the floor. Does she go to help? Nope, she just out of the picture. This other lady, she didn't even get up. There's another adult sitting there. She didn't even get up to see what was going on. So I want to talk to all of y'all. All of y'all need to be included in this situation. CK's parents, Matt and Elena Kittle, say the fall left their son with a traumatic brain injury and permanent hearing loss. According to the lawsuit, Matt Kitty dropped his son off before heading to a nearby Manhattan country club. Through the club's membership, children are allowed to stay at the Bay Clubhouse while their parents remain on the property. Well, they need to have proper daycare training. The lawsuit states that shortly after the incident, Bay Club staff called Mr. Kittle and informed him that CK had fallen. He didn't fall. He didn't just fall. He was tossed in the sky. thrown, but had calmed down. Not he calmed down. Allegedly assuring him that they did not believe the child needed to be picked up. What? So even I mean, based on the way they're not moving right now, he should have been immediately taken to the hospital. I mean, the things people do. Good thing this camera was going. After 15 minutes later, staff called again saying CK could not be comforted and should be picked up. The complaint said the right side of CK's face was heavily bruised. Why did they immediately call 911? The complaints say the right side of CK's face was heavily bruised, one eye was swollen shut, and his mouth was swollen. After returning home, the toddler reportedly became extremely drowsy, lethargic, and irritable. So y'all didn't still take him to the hospital? The lawsuit claims CK continues to experience symptoms from the brain injury, including hearing loss. In addition to alleging negligence, the kiddos accused the Bay Club of battery, fraud, intentional infliction, and emotional distress and neglect. Look, I mean, after watching this video, I see no reason to argue with these people. The fact that nobody budged, like you could throw a child, she threw that child up past her arms. That's very high. And then he came crashing down to the floor. I mean, and nobody moved. The one girl ran off. That's your, when you see something like that as a daycare worker, boom, he all the way in the sky. As a daycare worker, your instinct is to run away. I'm out of here. I'm leaving this. The other lady didn't even budge off the floor. There's another person standing there. Didn't move. These people did not move. They standing there like Sharon's responsible or for whatever reason. And then they tried to cover it up, talking about we couldn't console him after 30 minutes. He hit the floor hard. Thank God it was permanent hearing loss because it could have been much worse, like brain damage or death. Well, he's got trauma to his brain. We don't know how that will affect him in the long run. Hopefully not. You know what I'm saying? But he hit the floor hard enough to lose his hearing. Why is she hovering over him like that? They did not even call 911. Now I'm side-eyeing the parents because if I pick up my baby and he's bruised like that, I'm going to take him to the hospital. Why would we want to live around these folks? I don't know. I'm just like, so they pretty much had to hire anybody. This country club, we have a story about wealthy people who dropped their kids off at a country club, didn't even take the time to I guess vet the people that are going to be taking care of their kids. They don't care nothing about their kids. Yeah, she's hovering over the kid like a bomb went off, and everybody else, like maybe they didn't see it. So still, you heard him hit the floor. I'm sorry. This is, give these people their money. That's it. That's all. Stop throwing babies in the air. That's not, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like we've all played the swing the baby game, but the point in which she swung that child like up in the air, as if you ain't even on a mat or nothing. He could have broke his neck. So many other things could have happened to this child. So, yeah, daycares be wild, I guess, child. Here's another one. They eat their kids. Just because, you got a black children, that don't mean these folks still ain't safe. They still ain't safe. So just to preface what's going on, a disturbing video circulating on social media has people talking after showing a mother and daughter involved in an altercation over a family dog and children. In the footage, the daughter is seen holding the family dog while the mother repeatedly demands that she let the animal go. During confrontation, the mother also claims the daughter was refusing to let her have access to her children and had been holding both the children and several personal belongings from her. She done took her kids. As tension rises, the mother threatens to take her out. She did if she doesn't release the dog. Bystanders, who are reportedly the mother's nephews, stepped in and tried to break up the fight, but the situation quickly escalates. The mother then begins biting her daughter, repeatedly saying repeatedly saying that if the dog can't bite, she's going to do it herself. These people love their dogs more than their children. This was wild to me. Police eventually respond to the scene where both women are seen explaining their version of what happened to officers. The video has since gone viral, with many social media users condemning the mother's behavior and calling her actions excessive and disturbing, to say the least. Ciao. Others question what events led up to the confrontation and whether there was more to the story than what was captured on camera. I hate that narrative. And we're going to see it again. Like, in some situations, it doesn't matter what led to what happened. It's the behavior of the mother. Never in a million years would I find myself in this situation with any of my children, ever, for any reason. Things can be resolved. This ain't how they get resolved. And, you know, when you look at how the mother behaves, if there's any type of bad behavior coming from the child, we know where she got it from. So here's this fight between this mother, and I'm going to say, if you just in the bushes, it's a white mama with some black children.
Let my dog go now. I want my kids and my stuff. I want my kids and my stuff. Let my fucking dog go. I want my kids and my stuff. Bitch. Let me go. Don't hit her. I'm pregnant. I promise you. Don't hit her, Auntie. I will press charges. Auntie, don't hit it. I'll put a bullet right between your fucking eyes. I brought you in this bitch. I'll take you out, you stupid bitch. Auntie, let me go. Go ahead and hit me. Go ahead. Are you choking the dog? Let go of the dog. I'm not choking her. Let me go. Let me go. Give me my kids and give me my stuff. Give me my kids and give me my stuff. Let me go. Somebody please call the police. Please. Please call the police. Please call.
The way people will videotape something without calling the police is baffling, mind-boggling.
I want my kids. Let my dog go. I want my kids and I want my stuff. No, get away. Let my dog go.
I don't know what's going on. They just go fast. No.
Bro, this shit crazy. Y'all help us grab the dog. No. I will. No. I want my kids and I want my stuff. And I just want
We don't know.
you gotta fucking play it with I want my stuff. Get off of me. No, get off. Get off of me. Get up. Let me go. Let me go. Bro, let me go. No shit. Didn't I?
I gotta chill out. I gotta chill out, bro.
Didn't I fucking say stop? Huh?
Whoa.
They're here helping me, you stupid whore. Fucking deadbeat bitch. Crying about the
Police coming, y'all. I gotta chill out.
Let me go. Let me go. Here they come.
Y'all don't want to go to jail on the 4th.
I ain't going to jail. I just said, she just beat the shit out of me. I wanted to leave. She's going to jail. She wouldn't let me. I just wanted my baby. Come, dummy. I wanted my baby too, dumbass. Get off.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th. I just wanted my baby and I wanted to leave. I wanted my babies.
I didn't expect all that to happen.
She fucking kidnapped my dog and pushed me out through my doorway. She was already suspect. I had to call them to come help me find my fucking dog.
This lady can't even get up. This was a vicious altercation between a mother and a daughter. Like, this ain't the first time that these two have gone at it like that. Wouldn't you say you would be surprised how many people act like animals? It happens more than you think. I mean, I realize that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. So then, it makes you wonder, because like I said, this lady was calling her daughter all kinds of whores and bitches. The way she bit her leg, you drew blood. Like, that's wild behavior, that you bite somebody, your own child, not just somebody. You bite your own child to that extent. You said it's mental disease. It's hopefully we're gonna have to call it something. Her mother's been beating her up and biting to the point of drawing blood. Like, yeah, the poor dog. I'm guessing what happened is the girl wanted her kids, and then the mama wouldn't turn the kids over, so she took the dog. So when she took the dog, that's when the fight went down. You got these three grown big old boys standing around videotaping without, pulling this, stopping it from happening. They're walking around, again, like I said, desensitized to what's going on. They've been seeing it. So what are those grandkids seeing? It's like a cycle on and on and on. I've seen videos, and I, often clip them and then, unclip it. But I have seen a couple videos where these white women are calling their kids niggas and all kinds of wild stuff. They growing up dealing with racism from their own mother. You said, but once again, their love for dogs over people. Yeah. She wanted her dog so bad she bit the girl on her behalf, her own child. That's what's crazy. I love my dog too. Not that much, Don't be mad at me. Argue with your mama. Because ain't no way in the world I'm going to be out somewhere biting my child down in the street. And I got up to talk to the police. She said, I ain't going to jail. Why she think that? Because she's white and these kids is black. Like, even, within her own family dynamic, she, is, for whatever reason, not holding herself responsible. And then that girl should never bring her kids around that lady. For goodness sakes, she would never see, her grandmother privileges would be revoked. You will never see my children. Let's see the comments. This is why I thank God the mama. I thank God every day too, child, because this mother is horrible. Imagine how her mama acted towards her growing up. Yep. Nobody in here feeling sorry for this lady out here biting her children out down to the street. And y'all need to put down these phones, record nonsense, and call 911. The baby's head hits the floor. Call 911. When your mama is out in the street biting your sister or your auntie, whatever, call 911. Let's get into this, child. Not again. Former Florida governor candidate Andrew Gillum arrested after police alleged they found meth, marijuana, pipes, and a bong during a traffic stop. What do you need with marijuana? I wonder. If you're smoking meth, if you got meth and crack pipes and a bong, this is all in your car, bruh? Why? What? Former Florida gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum is back in the headlines after being arrested in Alabama on drug-related charges. According to reports, Gillum was pulled over last week on U.S. Highway 98 in Dauphine after officers allegedly observed him driving erratically. Police say the traffic stop led to discovery of approximately 3 grams of methamphetamine, 8 pre-rolled marijuana joints. Who rolls? Anyway. 4 cut straws. Oh, what was you finna do with the straws, Andrew? 3 pipes and a bong alongside a vehicle. What? Let me finish. Gillum was arrested and charged with felony unlawful possession of controlled substance along with misdemeanor marijuana possession charge. The arrest marks another legal setback for the former Tallahassee mayor who narrowly lost Florida's 2018 gubernatorial race to Ron DeSantis. Well, I voted for him, but he wasn't looking, down to the crack house. Well, we didn't know he was down to the crack house. Many may also remember Gillum's widely publicized 2020 incident in Miami Beach Hotel, where police responded after reports that he appeared to be in distress. Officers found suspected drugs inside the hotel room at the time, but prosecutors ultimately declined to file charges because they said there was not enough evidence to directly link the drugs to Gillum. Yeah, because it was a whole party over there. They was all over in that house, so he couldn't. He was just the one that, got sick. Gillum has not publicly responded to the latest allegations. The charges remain allegations, and the case will proceed through the court system. I mean, the man is down bad. And this is the thing. You carrying all of that paraphernalia in your car? Where was he going? Was he going to one of these parties or coming? He was coming from one of these parties and grabbed all his paraphernalia and was like, I'm going to take 8 joints, 2 crack pipes, and, saying, is he just driving around like that? He is an addict, and it is very sad. I mean, I guess that's that on that. We ain't really got to hear nothing else for him. We won't be voting for him to do anything. What is he going to do with himself? He going to have to start it from the bottom, child. He needs to go all the way. Where's his wife? Are they still together? He's a meth head around and F around and found out. Meth is very extreme. Meth is very extreme. Like the point at which, he's looking bad. He's looking very bad. And they were like concerned about his sexuality. Who cares about that? This man driving around with, enough drugs to party for a while. Somebody said this should have been discussed on his podcast. He got a podcast? Well, child, he'd get some views if he go over there now. His wife is not dealing. Do you mean dealing like with the issue? Ja Tony? I don't know. This is serious. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, you got crack. I don't know what them straws was for, but I have a feeling I know what them straws was for. What the hell do you need with some joints? What is that gonna do? Calm you down? He looking so bad. I hate to hear it, but he's not my governor. He might as well be. I still feel like shit. He can't be worse than Ron DeSantis, even driving around with crack pipes and things in the car. So there's that, child. Maybe he should go find this lady. Maybe we have the answer to his problems over here with Becky at the pastor's pulpit. Female pastor arrested after getting caught giving oral smacks on men to suck out their demons. I am crying. A female pastor is facing serious allegations after claims she performed oral sex on male church members, saying it was to rid them of demons. I'm surprised there's not a line outside of that church, for goodness sakes. She argued it was a legitimate spiritual practice, but the story blew up online fast. The internet is split with many questions how that could be called a religious ritual. That's the question y'all have? That wasn't my question. Others are holding off until more verified details come out. Either way, it's one of the most talked about stories of the week. Here she go over here. I'm not sure what church, they did not mention the church, so you're going to have to do your own investigating if you're interested in finding out where this church is. My question is, not how is this a ritual, but why is she under arrest? Is it for false advertising? Is she under arrest for the same thing like Stormy Steele? Is that her name? Not Stormy Steele. Coach Stormy. Coach Stormy didn't have to go to jail for scamming the people. She just had to go down to the Better Business Bureau or whatever, the CDC or whoever was over there, holding her, accountable. So, oh goodness, y'all are talking about was he going to put the straws? Motown investor, I don't know what he was going to do with those straws. You said he has that with Angela Ray. Oh, I need to go find that just for entertainment purposes. Y'all are talking about Gillum over there, his podcast. Ma'am, just say you like to give head. Maybe she's curing demons. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a method of, I just want to know, why did she go to jail? Because there's no, they said grown men are allowed to go get their demons sucked out however they need to go ahead and try to do it. Sucking out demons. What does that mean for her? Like, if she's sucking out the demons, where do they go? Like, is she ingesting all these demons? I need more. I have a lot of questions, and my questions ain't got nothing to do with that question they had over there. You said, is this how she got them to pay their tithes? Okay. I'm still trying to, I don't know that I have a problem with it. The higher the percentage, the higher the ending, the happier the ending. Listen, I feel like it's such a small price to pay to get rid of your demons. Honestly, is there, if you know a man, Andrew Gillum or others, you know what I'm saying, that has these demons that need to be sucked out, if you don't want to do it, because this is the thing, you probably don't have the credentials, you know what I'm saying, to be sucking out demons, you know what I mean, because surely you would have to know what to do with them after you suck them out. Did the wife file charges for what? What city are we in? What is the charges, Your Honor? That's what I want to know. I want to know why, if these men were willingly going out over here, she's, basically, what do you call it? The standard. Ooh, I did not mean it like that. She's the beauty standard, for the Europeans. She's, basic and blonde and somewhat, middle America. You know what I mean? So I'm confused. I want to know why the lady going to jail. Like, now, fair is fair. She should be a millionaire if she charged per demon. Man, how much demon sucking can you do? I mean, I could go on for days with this. We're living in hell, truly. These twisted news. Well, I didn't look for a high vibe. It found me. And here we are in the middle of the week having a discussion about why this white woman is in trouble for sucking demons from men who clearly volunteered to go have it done. So there's that. There's more to this story. I would love to hear it. That maybe, the only part that's missing is why she's under arrest. But, until further notice, child, I don't know what her name, it just says female pastor. I don't go to church, and judge me if you want to, I don't care. But I do feel like having this young lady as my pastor, it all feels wrong anyway. Like, she seems very young, first of all. She looks like she talks in that weird soft voice that sounds like, what do they call it? Get Out. From the movie Get Out, where she's talking all soft and trying to convince you to come in there. Little did you know, once you get in there, she's a demon sucker. Whew, that's scary. Gotta be careful. Look out for Becky with pink toes. She's full of demons. And we're supposed to believe this was done while sober. She probably running a trap house in a brothel in the church basement. I mean, aren't they all running something over there? Church basements. church basements have a lot of, nefarious things going on. It wasn't a problem when Pastor Eddie Long was doing it, allegedly. I'll say allegedly. We don't know what Jamal Bryant is over there sucking on down to New Birth, but this lady got to go to jail. I don't know. I'm not advocating for her. I'm just saying, seems unfair. One-sided, I would say. So, did y'all ever think that we would be over here this long talking about somebody? I don't want to call the man insignificant, but I ain't thought about Big Tigger in years. Now we can't shake his ass. This nigga Tigger. What he done did now. The newly circulating footage, which has been making the rounds on social media, appears to show Big Tigger attempting to retrieve his cell phone from his wife inside their home. The clip does not clearly show what led up to the interaction or how it ended up, but it sparked debate online, with many people weighing in on whether it changes their perspective on the ongoing allegations. It don't change mine, but I'm going to let y'all see it, and you can say whether it changed yours.
Get off my phone.
Do you not see all them crap?
I'm not doing it. She dropped.
Bro, you're literally stepping on her.
I'm not stepping on her, Alex. I just want to go. She could give me the phone and it'd be over. She could give me the phone and it would be over.
Bro, just get over her. She's going to give
I'm
you...
not on her at all. Give me my phone.
Get off of me.
Give me my phone.
See, if I was anybody else, you wouldn't be doing this.
If you say so.
Bro, just get off her. You can buy a new phone. Mr. Tigger! Mr. Tigger, get off of her now.
My phone.
Tigger,
Give
get
me
off.
my phone.
Do you not see all the...
Mr. Tigger is sending me. Oh. You said you did your time in church. They ain't really gangsters like Christ and them are no more. Who ain't gangster? John Tony? Not you did your time in church. Oh, that's an interesting way to put it. So this right here. Okay, high vibe. So that I'm not crazy. You said she's nuts, but he's a weirdo too. He is a weirdo because she didn't just get this way. And I feel like when you have this crazy in you, it makes it easy for somebody like Tigger to be on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then say she's crazy. We already knew that. Tigger needs his demons sucked out. We gonna send Tigger to the church of Becky and see if this situation can get fixed. So I went to the comments and I was so irritated I had to leave. You says this video comes after Big Tigger was arrested following an alleged domestic dispute at his Atlanta area home. According to investigators, the incident reportedly began after an argument over text messages on Big Tigger's cell phone. Authorities allege the confrontation escalated, leaving his wife with serious lacerations above her eye that required stitches. Investigators also say interior security camera footage was recovered as part of the investigation. Big Tigger has been charged with aggravated battery and third-degree cruelty to children. I don't know who that person is that's saying Mr. Tigger. I have heard people say that was her son, her older son. That in itself bothers me, that they have a child together, they're married to each other, and her son calls him Mr. Tigger. It seems so formal for somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's now part of your family. Big Tigger has been charged with, did I say all that? Big Tigger has denied all allegations against him, maintaining his innocence and saying he believes the facts will ultimately clear his name. The newly surfaced video has fueled even more discussion on social media, with some viewers saying it provides additional context to the incident, while others argue it does not change in the seriousness of the charges he is facing. So this is what the people are like. And cut. Beautiful work with the team. Beautiful work, team. Everybody played their role fantastic. Okay. She could have gave that man his phone back. I hate when women make me side with men. I'm not sure why you're siding with the man and how she's making you do that, but okay. Mr. Tigger is sending me. Yeah. If you have to take someone's phone, you don't need to be there. Give that man his phone back. I would okay, so two things can be true at the same time. That's how I feel about this. She took his phone. You said I never saw it for him. What grown man is calling himself Tigger? You know, I saw a YouTuber, no, a TikToker that was talking about how names, mean something. And so maybe, he's calling himself Tigger because Tigger, the tiger, and it makes him sound less, like sweet and you know what I'm saying? And the whole time he's not a Tigger, he's a tiger. We've already established that something is a little off about this lady. There's more footage where you can see him slamming her into the door, and that's where the cuts come from. I don't care what was on that phone. You know what I'm saying? What is it going to change? Like the fact that he's fighting her down to the floor over give me the phone, give me the phone. You know what I'm saying? My phone ain't got nothing in it. So if you take my phone, you're really not going to get much. And I feel like if there's nothing for you to worry about, I can be pissed off, but I don't need to drag you around the room in front of this person. I feel like he toned it down a bit because he knew this person was recording. So now that he's being recorded, he's out of breath. So clearly something else, you know what I'm saying? The fight was going on longer than what this clip is showing. I don't need to see the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about her being crazy. We're talking about Mr. Tigger over here being so upset about whatever he's got on the phone that he, wants to drag her around to get it back. And as far as her, I feel like she already seen what was on the phone. She knows. And is that why she's accusing him of having an affair with his coworker who's now suing her? So, I don't know. Was there inappropriate conversations or anything on that phone between him and his coworker that would make her feel like, something more was going on? Because she added that lady. You know what I'm saying? And you know how we are as women. Once we get on a tangent, it's on and popping. The clothes all over the floor says, yeah, they've been tussling for a minute, and the child was there. That's why he got a child cruelty charge. So I don't know. I don't know if that was the child calling him Mr. Tigger. I hope not. I would hope you are not married to somebody that's supposed to be, assisting and helping you raise your child, and they, calling the man Mr. Tigger. We need to find out something. Is that a requirement? Does he make her kid call him Mr. Tigger? I don't know if that was his child. So, we'll just say we know the child was in the room, but I don't know if that was the child. And the fact that people are like, just give him the phone, just give him the phone. Yeah, just like the lady, just give her the dog, just give her the dog. To me, this is like the same thing. Like as a mother, there was another way to handle that. You know what I mean? Not beating your child down to the sidewalk and biting her ankles like the freaking Chihuahua or Frenchie or whatever that was that kid was holding on to. Same thing with Tigger. Whatever was on that phone has been seen already. So what are you so worried about, Tigger? What is so upsetting to you that you need to drag her? I can see them hollering, screaming, you know what I'm saying? Give me my phone. All of that would have been normal. You know what I'm saying? But look at the phone. Look at the phone. Get it out of your system. I'm still going to be pissed, but I'm not going to beat you down to the floor. So not, now that this lady came to the front with all of her drama, it's gotten her in trouble because it just made people dig up in her past and see what there's more to her story. We know she has a child that's 17 that's somewhere that's been missing. So Alicia Denise Brown, the estranged wife of Atlanta radio host Darian Big Tigger Morgan was arrested Monday, so now she's arrested along Interstate 85 in Northeast Georgia during a traffic stop. Authorities from the Hart County Sheriff's Office and Georgia State Patrol detained Brown, 37, after receiving an alert about her vehicle. She was traveling with 2 young children, one of whom is reportedly shared with Big Tigger. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. She took them kids and he turned her in. I feel like Big Tigger is definitely behind this. Brown is wanted on kidnapping related charges in Maryland and felony charges for interference with child custody in Fulton County. Her arrest was linked to a 2019 case involving the disappearance of a 10-year-old child, with Maryland officials planning to extradite her. The situation has escalated for both parties as Big Tigger was arrested on June 20th on charges of battery and child cruelty following an altercation with Brown. This incident reportedly involved him pushing her into an office door while their 13-year-old son was present. A temporary protection order has been issued for Brown in response to this situation. I mean, she got these charges facing her. We want to know what the hell, happened with that little girl. And her ex did an interview with somebody saying how he would go to jail because she kept falsely accusing him of assaulting her. I don't know that man. I know he was in and out of jail. And this kid has been missing for 7 years. So we definitely want to know, where is that child at? And clearly they feel like she knows where the kid is. At this point, the child is almost an adult. So, there's that. I think it's weird to have to go stay with somebody that you don't know, essentially, but that's a whole nother conversation. Tigger is responsible for this because this lady was traveling with 2 children in the car. That means her 13-year-old son and that baby that she had with Tigger. Now, Tigger been knew about this. This is not new information for him. We didn't even know he was married, but all the details of this story he has already been privy to, but he married her crazy ass anyway. You wouldn't have had a baby with somebody who left their kid in the car at a casino to go gamble. So Tigger, please, with that. And so now she's in jail and he's on bond. And boy, Big Tigger, we did not see you going out like this. You done had to quit your job. You got that lady over there suing your wife. I think, girl, sit down. Whoever his partner is, I don't know her. Do y'all know her? His partner? I never heard of Francesca until this lady came over here. I don't listen to or watch Big Tigger's show, podcast, or anything he has going on over there. Hadn't thought about Big Tigger until, this happened. Sorry, I had to get a little something, my throat getting dry. So, did this thing all start because Tigger was having some type of inappropriate relationship, allegedly, with his coworker, and the text messages and things was on that phone, and because the lady had the phone, he bust her face up against the screen door, and now she over on the internet spilling all the business, and now the cops have found her. They been knew where she was. Why did it take a traffic stop to get her arrested? I guess we'll have to wait on the details to this story. In other domestic violence news, this guy and his wife, what's his name? Marcellus Wiley. We talked about this a little bit the other day. He denies. He's saying it wasn't him. Let's get Tigger out of here. He said it was not him. I mean, not it wasn't him. He said he did not do it. He said he has not, done the things that his wife, estranged wife, accused him of. Former NFL player said he plans to fight the allegations through the legal process after his estranged wife accused him of abuse in her divorce filings. Marcellus Wiley denied the abuse allegations made by estranged wife Anna Marie Wiley in her divorce filing, saying he plans to fight the claims with evidence rather than emotion. In a statement posted to X, that's where he put his post on X. In a statement posted on X on Tuesday, July 7th, the former NFL player said he intends to address the allegations through the legal process. Then what is he doing on X running his mouth? The response comes one day after Anne Marie filed for divorce and requested a domestic violence restraining order alleging years of physical and sexual and emotional abuse. So these women out here had claims against him, and she was over there standing beside him. Now she's coming up with the same allegations. Marcellus Wiley is publicly responding after his estranged wife, the former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Anna Marie Wiley, accused him of years of abuse in divorce filings earlier this week. In a statement shared on X on Tuesday, the former NFL player denied Anna Marie's allegations and said he intends to fight them through the legal process while accusing her of misconduct during their marriage. Of course. What is the rebuttal always going to be? She cheated. She probably didn't, I'm sure, but that's what he'll say. I love my children with everything I am. The highest priority has always been protecting them and preserving the relationship they have with both of their parents, Marcellus began. Because of the public allegations made against me by Anna Marie, I've been forced to respond with evidence rather than emotion. More importantly, I owe it to my children to truthfully document what they and I have endured. What did she do to you, Marcellus? Marcellus said he has compiled videos, photographs, and text messages, emails, and other evidence that he claims contradicts Anne Marie's allegations. Marcellus said he had hoped to keep the family struggles private, but believed this day was inevitable. I was willing to endure anything, even hell itself, if it meant being with my children every single day, he wrote. I'm their hero, and now I'm fighting to make sure the positive and real images they know of me is the one that endures. Them kids know what's going on, child. They was in that house. They know. He concluded his statement by saying he's prepared to address these allegations and related matters through the legal process with evidence. Well, bring it on, Marcellus. We want to see you in court. My focus remains on my children, my integrity, and the truth, he wrote. The statement comes one day after Anne Marie filed for divorce after 12 years of marriage. In court documents previously obtained by People, she cited irreconcilable differences and requested a domestic violence restraining order, alleging Marcellus subjected her to a continuing and escalating pattern of physical violence, verbal and emotional abuse, financial control, and intimidation. Marcellus was over there essaying his wife. She needed to see if he was putting it on the internet with them nasty husbands. I mean, he is MAGA, so, protect your children, girl. The filing alleges the abuse dated back to 2012 and included multiple incidents of physical violence as well as 4 alleged rapes. Was she on Beverly Hills 2012? I'm not sure what. I'll have to look. Was she over there bold-faced lying? Seems like it. It all alleges Marcellus exercised financial control throughout their relationship and that Anne Marie feared for her safety and the safety of her children. I believe all of it. I believe her. I don't like her, but I believe her. Marcellus subjects me to constant criticism. We know that because he says she only an 8 or a 7.5 or whatever number he gave her. It wasn't a 10. It wasn't even a 9. It says Marcellus subjects me to constant criticism, cruel and sarcastic remarks, and intimidation, she alleges. His verbal and emotional abuse is constant, and his physical abuse occurs approximately once a month. Dang. And at times more frequently. Dang. I'm afraid of Marcellus and I fear my own safety and the safety of my children. Like I said, if that's what's going on over there, them children know it. As part of the filing, Anna Marie requested sole legal and physical custody of the couple's three children, along with an order denying Marcellus visitation. Dang, she don't even, I mean, if he's over there doing all that, he don't need no visitation. And if he does get it, it needs to be supervised. The allegations came after Marcellus was arrested on a domestic battery charges stemming from an alleged incident during a family trip to Orlando, Florida. Y'all stay doing nonsense over here, don't you? Florida just can't beat the allegations. This was one hell of a 4th of July weekend. I'm glad I had my celebration on Juneteenth, because these 4th of July events was tragic everywhere. He was released on a $1,000 bond on July 5th per Anna Marie's filing. Additionally, Marcellus faces several other essay allegations that are separate from the claim made in the divorce proceeding. It says several. I want to see him get whacked. Earlier this year, a former ESPN employee accused Marcellus of essay in a court filing reported by Rolling Stone. People separately obtained court filings from 3 other women who also accused the former NFL player of essay. The allegations involved incidents the women say occurred between the mid-1990s through 2009, including claims that Marcellus raped them or essayed them. Those allegations followed a 2023 lawsuit in which 3 others accused Marcellus of essay stemming from the time he attended Columbia University. Like, they are just everywhere. He over here talking about, I'm the good guy, she's the bad guy, and I have proof. But bring it on. People has reached out to representatives for both Marcellus and Anna Marie Wiley for additional comment. Well, I mean, it was bound to catch up with him sooner or later. That's all I can say. Let's see what y'all saying. This is really sad and scary. Looks like their outfits are mismatched, but they are MAGA. They are. But listen, I don't like this lady. But, you know, she don't deserve that. And I believe her. And you know, she had this opportunity. She went on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and she was rejected. But I'm not surprised, because she's living a lie. She over there trying to, you know, pretend when all of this is going on in her household. Mercury must be in retrograde. It is, because every story has been so intense. Mercury is in retrograde. That's what the people said. And it's Wednesday. We got Mercury in retrograde. We got the humping over here. And, you know, I'll be following this story. I've been wanting Marcellus to catch his for a while now. So, you know, hopefully he gets everything he deserves. And hopefully those women from his past, you know, get their just due as well. Anna Marie gonna get hers. It's about to be a money fight and custody fight. That might not work in his favor with all this other stuff he's got going on. I need to go make me some hot tea, chow. In other nasty nigga news, Scottie Pippen, 60, goes viral showcasing his new 23-year-old girlfriend. What is happening? Is he competing with Larsa? Where is this girl's daddy? Did he sell his daughter to Scottie Pippen? Anyway, Scottie Pippen is trending after being spotted with a woman reportedly 23 years old, creating a 37-year age gap that has social media talking. While 2 consenting adults have every right to date who they choose, the conversation quickly shifted from the couples themselves to bigger questions. When does an age gap become too much? when your man is old enough to be your granddaddy. That's when. Some people argue that age is just a number, not when it's 23 and 60. Stop it. Both people are adults. Is she trying to get pregnant? Is his shooter still viable? Others believe relationships with decades between partners come with major differences, life experiences, maturity, and power that can't be ignored. And as always, many are asking whether the reaction should be the same if genders were reversed. I think so. Yes, this is the difference. Men have a strange way of abusing their power. One thing is clear: celebrity age gap relationships seems to be making headlines more often. Is there such thing as being too big of an age gap, or should age never matter between two adults? Jonas, what are you doing over here, Jonas? That's all I can see. Jonas. Him and Larsa are both perverse. They're poor kids. This is such an uneven match, not just because of the age gap, but definitely because the power. This little girl is no safer than that other little girl was that went over, and I'm calling her a little girl. She was 30, that went over there to Tanzania with that white man. And I don't care what they have to say about her mental health issues. I still don't believe that she hung herself either. Anyway, this is gross. Scottie Pippen is gross. He's an old ass man. And, you know, your first question always is, where's her mama and daddy? When I look at this, I see Puffy and Cassie. I don't know that Scottie is anything like Puff, but I mean, the fact that he's parading around a 23-year-old says to me, yes, you are, Scottie. It's giving Epstein Island. You and Lars are both. I don't care. There's no, you know, there's no way that this man has anything in common with this 23-year-old girl, except for the fact that he wants to drag her around to wherever he's going and, you know, expose her to things that she can't afford. You know, just to like let his weird ass rich friends know, you know, I could pull a baddie. Piper's still taking passes. Now it's a pass from the crib. I mean, it looks like it's definitely a pass from the crib. It don't even look right. And at the end of the day, like I said, is he pervert? To me, this is more than an age gap. This is perversion. I'm gonna have to take a Mucinex, child. Let me just get one now. This is perversion. This doesn't look, like I said, any different than what Puff was doing over there, you know, with Cassie. Is it violent? We don't know. They just getting started. So I don't trust it. That's for darn sure. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. It doesn't make me feel like Scottie is a nice guy. What are they saying in the comments? This is weird. It's very weird. I thought it was his daughter. Absolutely disgusted. Nobody likes it. So, you know, I'm guessing my mom always told me that old men give you worms. Oh, does that work the same for old women? I don't know. Yeah, like I said, this says more about, you know, the power dynamic. It just makes me think of all of these young ladies that are out here, you know, being unalive by these wealthy, rich men. So be careful, Scottie. Don't get yourself in trouble. And, you know, the people said you got worms and you're spreading it on to the youth. So we're gonna slide away from the celebrity stuff. There's a few more things I wanted to cover. Why do we have such a disrespect for people in public? Why have we lost the etiquette? And there's this whole I don't care attitude going on with people in public. So have you ever, not have you ever, because I feel like we all have, how do you feel when you're in a store or, you know, in a line somewhere and you got your headphones on? This just recently happened to me. I was standing in line with my headphones on and this woman is talking on her speakerphone. people do it in the salon. You know, we have, you know, been given the authority to tell them put that shit on headphones or take a step outside. But this lady is on a bus. And this other, you know, passenger decided she wanted to be on her phone speaking out, you know what I'm saying? As if people want to listen to your nonsense.
You can't ask nobody on the bus if they can even ask, move out of your ear with drunk. And I am just so shook. I don't have a problem with that's why I'm recording. If you have a problem with me recording, you can move. I am going like you are going like you too. What a whole bag on. We're gonna have United. You medicine. I don't know where she at. Do whatever you want to do, right? And lose your job too. Okay, I'm on the bus, but she worked at U Chicago Medicine. You can't ask nobody on the bus if they can.
I think it's hilarious that she tells this lady to mind her own business. I'm trying, but your business is in my ear. And you know, she was in that space running her mouth loud. That lady got her job because she's walking around in her scrubs and in her with her badge name still on. So you're representing your business, your company outside acting a fool, scarf tied on her head. I don't know if she's on her way to work. Hopefully, you know, or was she at work? I'm guessing she's on her way to work. This is unacceptable to me. I hate it so much. Like, why people feel the need to disrupt public space with their loud talking and then tell you to mind your own business. Just a little pet peeve of mine. It's irritating. And you're on a bus too. It's already hot and carrying on. So I wonder, you know, what's going to happen with this lady with her job. Maybe nothing. We're not hoping that the lady lose her job, but it's sad to me that she feels like she's like in the right, unapologetic, mind your own business. I could do what I want to do. This is part of the reason why we in this mess that we not the reason. Because this damn sure ain't the reason, but this isn't helping. I'll say it that way. This behavior right here is definitely not helping. India Love, y'all remember her down to the park with the game? And he was fibbling and bibbling underneath her sweatpants when she was a child. He's another grown man, was over here. And see, these are the effects of when your daddy don't take good care of you and allows you to hang out, you know, with the game. And then, you know, he got you calling him daddy. These influencers are beyond. As far as I'm concerned, this is even worse than the girl on the bus who's being completely disrespectful. So India Ari goes off on a driver that got mad at her for blocking the road to make a TikTok. You have to wait. That's what she said. You have to wait because her TikTok is more important than the flow of traffic. Now, I would have called the police on these fools.
You have to. Okay, and this is a public situation going on. You have to wait a second, sir. We're not doing anything wrong. Please give us 1 second. Please give us 1 second. We're not bothering anybody. Please. You could go around. You could go around. Okay. Let me go. Oh shit, we gotta do it. The truck's coming. 1 second. Yeah. Ready? 3, 2,
1. So people are still waiting.
Go play, go play, go play. Go play, go play. Go play, go play, go play. Go play, go play. Go play, go play, go play. Good thing we got it. No, you have to wait. You have to wait. You have to. Okay.
She said, go play. Like they have the intersection blocked with 2 cars so she can booty drop while these people is trying to. Child, you said I wouldn't have engaged with her. You talking about the lady on the bus? I wouldn't have either. But I maybe would have recorded. I don't know. Clearly their encounter, and that lady was behind her. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. No permit to stop traffic. Yeah, child. They got this traffic stop for her to make a TikTok. And she's the one with the attitude. We got to hold up traffic so you can booty bounce in the middle of the street. You said India is getting publicity lately for wrong reasons. I mean, I guess anything to go viral. Anything to go viral. So, what is this platform? She's on the Neighborhood Talk. She done made the Neighborhood Talk. So, this is probably a great day. They'll go celebrate. They'll go down to somebody's coffee shop or smoothie shop and disrupt the flow of traffic there because, she's an entitled influencer. She don't care whether you need to get to work. You got to wait for her to twerk on the top of a Jeep. Get a permit. We not doing all that, girl. Them people got to wait. Don't nobody care nothing about no permit. It's a TikTok. I'm getting ready to block this traffic, and whoever got to come through here just gonna have to wait. They gonna have to. What she say? Go play. Go play. Go play. Child, I would have called the cops. The way I would have turned into a Karen on her ass must be that European blood. I can't do nothing about it, child. So are y'all watching soccer? I am not. I'm not interested in soccer, but it's the World Cup. And so, just a little information. While you're enjoying the soccer games, if you happen to be following, keep this in mind while you're watching.
Minority. Just watch the World Cup. It don't matter what team you watch, you finna watch Black excellence. Because apparently, we're the global majority. Okay, I was watching Switzerland. I said, how'd they get all those black players? They didn't even colonize anybody. That's just where the colonizer parked their money. But then I watched Qatar get washed by Canada. Most of Canada's team was black. I know I ain't the only one. I said, how many people did Harriet Tubman take up there? But then I looked again, and half of Qatar's team was black. Apparently, gold ain't the only thing that the UAE and Qatar are taking from Sudan. Too much? Sorry, there are a lot of Afro-Qataris there because of the East African slave trade from the 17th to the 19th centuries. Back to the World Cup. In typical colonial fashion, the players are black, but the coaches are white. Even the African teams, South Africa, Congo, Ghana. White people get so uncomfortable when we're in charge. I mean, that's why the FBI had an entire room for the city of Compton when it became the first city west of the Mississippi with a black mayor. It's also the reason that the CIA assassinated Patrice Lumumba, the leader of Congo, staged a coup d'etat of Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana, and provided intelligence that led to the jailing of Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Too much? For some reason, the West believes that the people who built their empires need overseers. That's the only reason I feel some type of way about the white coaches. I think this is the perfect moment to say, this is the real map of the world. This is the size of Africa. This is the map that the African Union is finally campaigning for. The one with the real measurements. Because in European maps, Greenland and Africa are the same size. But Africa is 14 times larger in real life. Look. We have never been a minority. There is nothing about us that is small. We are the cradle of civilization, and everything comes from us, including these whoopings on the soccer field. If you ever thought you were a minority, just watch the World Cup. It don't matter what team you watch, you finna watch Black excellence.
That is so funny to me. Like I said, I don't watch. I haven't been watching. So I guess if I do tune in, there's going to be a lot of black folks over there, playing these games. Yeah, y'all, enjoy the Black excellence of it all. The fact that he said, how many people did Harriet Tubman take up there, had me rolling. That is hilarious. So we're going to end on this note today, y'all. Is it too far? Can you stand on business and take it too far? I don't know. What do y'all think? So, Spiritual World took the time out to wish Tia Happy 48th birthday to the talented Tia Mowry. How in the world did they wish a happy birthday to Tia and left Tamara off? That's just cruel. Y'all are wrong for that. How you only wishing a happy birthday to one twin when both twins are they like she could stay over there with that colonizer where she at and we not gonna acknowledge it's her birthday today? Talk about a smack in the face. I don't know if I'm entertained by it or not. Okay, low key, the petty in me thinks the shit is funny. The petty in me thinks the shit is very funny that a publication would go and wish Tia a happy birthday without acknowledging the fact that it's also Tamara's birthday too. Oh, I bet you her hump day is a little bit humpy if she's seen it, but I bet you what's gonna happen, somebody gonna send it to her. At some point, someone will tag her in this post. On that note, y'all, enjoy the rest of your hump day. I hope your hump is not as humpy as mine. I just took a Mucinex, so hopefully I'll be able to breathe a little bit better. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, let the people know I'm over here, and have a good day. Bye, y'all.